Good morning, my name is Patti Watson. I am the principal of Taste. We're an interiors firm based in Jamestown, Rhode Island. We're lucky enough to have clients throughout Rhode Island and Massachusetts. And today I thought I'd take you through a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look at our process to develop a concept for an interior. We always start a project with a good understanding of the existing conditions of a space, which means we'll go to our client's home and take pretty accurate, detailed dimensions of the existing conditions. In this case, we're working in a kitchen, so we went to our client's home and dimensioned the kitchen, the laundry, the dining, and all of the adjacent spaces so we understand how one room relates to another. Then we'll come back and draw a very detailed plan of those existing conditions, and we'll start to understand what sort of constraints we might have to redesigning the space. So another important step when we're dimensioning a client's home and really getting to understand it is to take photographs of the existing conditions. We take many photographs that represent how the client is currently living, what's happening in the space, and again, what might present itself as an opportunity to help them improve their space. If you're thinking of taking on a design renovation on your own, taking photos is a really great way to start to see the space through different sets of eyes. We all get used to our own space and sort of become unaware of what opportunities may exist. So if you take photos, print them, and analyze them, it's a good way to start to see your space a little bit differently and open up and reveal some options that you may not have thought of just living in your space every day. So now that we understand the space and understand our options, what our budget is, and what's most important to our client in their new space, we start to develop a plan and a space plan. One critical aspect to doing your space plan is to understand the appliance specifications that you hope to have in your new kitchen, in this case a kitchen. If you are very hopeful for that 48-inch Wolf gas range, that's an important decision to make early on so that you work around that 4 feet of required space in your kitchen. Based on our clients' goals for the space and the options that we have and the budget, we develop a plan, a new plan for the space. That takes the shape of a traditional floor plan, sort of a bird's eye view of the home and the new cabinetry and any new millwork features like a coffered ceiling, the island, and if we're putting in new windows and doors, as we did in this space, we'll start to size those appropriately for the space and the again the goals of the client. And in this case, one of our goals was to add more natural light. So we enlarged openings, French door openings, and even window openings throughout the first floor. Reading a plan can be challenging. If you do it every day, it becomes your language. But if you don't do it every day, we understand and realize that it can be a challenging piece of communication to understand the details. So we will use 3D modeling for our clients. Again, if you're trying to take on your own renovation, there are so many 3D modeling tools out there that are pretty easy to use that enable you to start to put details in to help you imagine the opportunities in the space. We love to provide clients with a walkthrough of their space and views from different angles in the house. Again, views from different adjacent rooms so they start to understand how one space relates to the next. One of our passions and our strengths is to design moldings for a client's home. We take our cues certainly from the architecture of the home and reimagine a bit what those moldings could and should be in a home, because it will really add so much character and grace to a home. To help our clients imagine what that design is, we often build a mock-up version of their trim package. And in this case, we had a shallow beam in the living room, and we wanted to show our clients what that would feel like, that it wasn't very deep, it wouldn't take away from their ceiling height. So we built this and actually took it to the client's home and held it up at the ceiling so that they both could feel how that was going to work in their new space. And it's a great tool and one that really brings plans and details and drawings to life. So just as we did with our trim mock-up, we will do a sample of the cabinetry design that we have for our client. In this case, it was their kitchen cabinetry. It's an inset door with a recessed panel and a nice OG inside profile. If you're working with a cabinetry dealer and have the opportunity to have them sample your door for you, go ahead and do that. It's a really good idea to, again, bring it home in your kitchen, prop it up next to your existing cabinetry, walk by it a few times throughout the day, and make sure that this is the style that you're really comfortable with. So hand in hand with our space planning, we're beginning to select the hard finishes that will be in the kitchen space. In this case, we put together a collection of very earthy, natural materials for our client. She really loved this style and aesthetic. So we began to collect pieces and samples that spoke to her style. We always present them to a client in a sort of loose tray like this. We find it so useful to be able to take a piece out from this sort of collage of materials and hold it up on the wall or on the floor or on the countertop. This happens to be a piece of reclaimed chestnut that we used as a countertop for her sideboard. So we were able to put this on the countertop and help imagine in a larger sampling like this what that material will feel like in her new space alongside tile like this for the backsplash, or a finish for the faucet in sort of an oil rubbed bronze, and even a hinge and a custom finish for the base cabinetry on the island. Last but not least, we get to select for our clients, with our clients, the soft finishes in the space. We really love to see a project through to completion and to the final decoration. This last piece is so important to bring a project together. If we were to just stop with a great space plan and really beautiful hard finishes, we'd be stopping short. So it's really wonderful to be able to see a project through to the final decoration. We always start with an area rug. It's great if you're doing this on your own to start with an area rug first, especially if you're choosing an area rug that has a lot of pattern or interest in it. So start with that high patterned piece in your room. In this case, we didn't have a pattern, but we fell in love with this, again, natural fiber wool rug. So we started with this as our beginning point to furnish the living room adjacent to the kitchen, and certainly took our cues from the color and finish palette that we started in the kitchen when we selected our fabrics, that again had a very natural and organic feel, very soothing, very calm, very natural, that complemented the kitchen space and brought great cohesion from kitchen to living.